Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I am so happy to have you. My name is Faith. I am a Pilates instructor, I'm a meditation guide, and I'm also a certified mindset life coach. And today we are moving through a full body Pilates flow using the squishy ball. If you don't have one, no worries. You can do your own body weight, or you could also substitute the ball with a band or a hand weight depending on the movement we're doing. Before we get started, make sure you are subscribed to my channel. Give this video a thumbs up, and if you enjoy your workout, which I really hope you do, you can leave me a comment at the end of this video as well. So let's hop right into it. You're gonna grab your ball, you're gonna put it between your inner thighs, about an inch above your knee, and then we're gonna come to our back. So the hips are fairly close to the heels, and you're just lying down. Knees bent, feet planted. Let's bring one hand to our ribs, one hand to our belly. And then we're just gonna relax onto the mat, let the shoulders melt down, relax the face, feel the body grow heavy. And if it feels comfortable, you can allow the eyes to close. Taking a moment to arrive on your mat, getting present in the body, letting go of any outside noises or voices. We're gonna take a nice big inhale through the nose. Hold it at the top, feel your chest expand, belly rise. And as you start to exhale at the mouth, you're gonna squeeze your inner thighs together, squishing the ball, feel your ribs knit, your belly deflate. Hold that exhale at the bottom. And then you're gonna start to inhale, expanding through ball and belly. Hold it at the top again. And exhale, maybe even flattening your back as you tuck your hips under and squeeze, knees together. You should feel activation through your core and your inner thighs when you do this. And once all that air has escaped and you hold for a moment, feeling that emptiness, let's do one more round. Inhale through the nose, nice and slow. Try to get that air all the way to your lower back, your back ribs, hold it at the top. All that space, energy, and magic, here we go, exhale at the mouth. Squeeze, flatten your back, belly to spine. Maybe even connecting to the pelvic floor here. Good, hold that emptiness. And then when you can't hold it any longer, find that next inhale. And you can start to open your eyes. Good, so that was just a tiny little warm up for our core, for our mind to muscle connections, and for that breath that is gonna support us so much in our practice. From here, you're gonna bring your hands to either side of your hips. Your feet should be a little closer together than your knees, so that when you squeeze the ball, knees then become stacked over your ankles. From here, we're gonna flatten our back if it's not already. Take a nice big inhale through the nose. On your exhale, you're gonna keep curling your tailbone up and roll into your first bridge. So we have like a 20 to 50% engagement through that ball and inner thighs. Feel your shoulders relax so they're on the mat. We want to drop our ribs, connect to our core, lift the glutes 1 inch higher. And then we're going to roll down from the top of the spine. Lower back connects to the mat first, then the glutes. Maybe you release a little tension on the ball, and then when you exhale and curl, you're going to squeeze those knees back together. Good, and remember we're lifting from our hip bones and our glutes, not our belly or our ribs. So I want you to bring your attention, your mind to muscle connections to the pelvis area. Exhale, lift, squeezing the ball. Inhale, lower. And your hands are there to support you. So you can always press down into them if you need help getting your hips to that highest point. But we're taking things nice and slow here. You should start to feel the back of the body turning on. We should never feel bridge in our lower back, but we should definitely feel a burn starting in our hamstrings, the back of our legs. Definitely inner thighs if you're still connecting to the ball, which I know it can be easy to forget about. And the glute max, so the back of the booty. The next time your hips are lifted, we're gonna pause. Take a moment here. Drop your ribs, lift your hips 1 inch higher. And we're gonna keep our hips at the highest point, still and lifted. From here, we're gonna squeeze the ball. So much that maybe you're shaking, you feel that burn, and then we release. These are slow, controlled pulses in, not quick pulses, and release. Let's find our breath again. We exhale, flex abs, squeeze knees. Hold for a moment till basically you can't any longer. Then we inhale, release a little tension, but not too much that the ball drops. Keep going, exhale. Naturally, if we aren't focused or present, the hips want to drop as the knees squeeze. So to overcompensate that, you might want to think about pressing your hips up as those knees draw together. Last 2. Is your belly lifting? Are your ribs popping? Or can you keep everything engaged? Last 1, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Embrace the burn. Feel that engagement. And then release. And then we roll down. Good, hips are on the mat. Take a moment. We're gonna add those 2 things together in a combo. Pairing it with the breath, we inhale to prep, back is flat. Exhale, we curl up into bridge and hold. We're gonna do 2 pulses in on the ball. Slow and control, we squeeze. We release. We squeeze. We release. And then we roll the hips all the way down, flattening the back. Don't rush through this, 1 thing at a time. Exhale up. I like to hold for a moment at the top before I get into those pulses. Good. Imagine you want to pop your ball. And then we roll it down. Good, we have 4 more rounds, you got it. Exhale up. Maybe it's an inhale, squeeze. Or maybe it's an inhale, hold at the top. And then you can exhale as you draw knees together. And then we inhale as we roll down. Last 3, the burn is building, that's what we want. Keep tucking your hips under and lifting up so that they don't drop during those pulses. That's the most kind of common thing I see when we do this type of work. We're so focused on one part, our form kind of slips through the cracks. Good, you should be feeling outer glutes, inner thighs, core, glute max, everything's working together. Last 2 rounds just like that. We have 1 more. Squeeze as much as you can. Lift as high as you can. Connect to your core, last pulse right here. And then you're gonna come all the way down. Amazing work. Take your ball out and then just hold it in your hands as your knees fall apart into butterfly. Nice big breath in, big breath out. And then we can hug the knees into the chest for a moment, stretching out the hamstrings. You could stay through center, do a little rock from the left to the right. Nice big breath in, big breath out. Awesome. Rock yourself up to seated for a moment. And then you're gonna take your ball and it's gonna go between your shoulder blades, but towards the bottom of your shoulder blades. So as you can see, it's not on my middle back and it's not on my upper back near my neck. It's between the shoulder blades, so kind of where the bottom of your sports bra strap would be. And then your knees are gonna be bent, feet are gonna be planted. You're gonna interlace your hands, bring them to the back of the head, elbows wide. Good, take a moment here. We're gonna take a nice big inhale as we reach head, neck, and shoulders all the way back. So maybe your head or your hands are resting on the mat. You should be looking up and back. And then open those elbows a little wider so you feel a really nice stretch in your chest. Take an inhale here. Feel the stretch increase. Exhale, find an ab curl. So we're lifting up and over. And then we inhale, roll it back. And you can play around with the weight of your body or your back on the ball. So the lighter we keep our back on the ball, the more the core is working. But you can play around with it and feel the difference between the pressure on that ball. Really lean into the breath here. When we're naturally breathing, we're working the core. So when we pair it with core-focused or ab-focused exercises, we're gonna get a deeper activation. And we might as well get the most out of our movements. The breath is also gonna help us release any building tension or tightness in shoulders or the neck. And make sure you're supporting the back of your head with your hands. We're not just putting our fingers there for decoration, you're actually holding your head. The next time you're back, you're gonna pause. From here, you're gonna find that same ab curl, but we're gonna lift our right leg to tabletop. And then everything's gonna lower. And then the next time you curl, left leg lifts, stopping that knee right over the hip and pointing your toes. Good, elbows are still wide. Take it slow. Come all the way back and then all the way up. Can you knit your ribs? Can you use your core to come up more than any momentum or resistance from the ball? We're gonna do 3. You can press into that opposite foot that's on the mat, or you can play around with keeping it lighter. 2. Finish on your left leg so you're even. And then once that left leg touches the mat again, you're gonna stay in your ab curl. So hands are still on the back of the head. We're gonna find little pulses. So you're looking kind of towards where the wall and the ceiling meet, over the knees. And we're just gonna come up and back, up and back. It might not look like much, but you're gonna feel it. So maybe your gaze goes up towards the ceiling a little, and then it's up and over your knees. Inhale, exhale, and I like to hold at the top of that pulse. to really feel that engagement. Last 6. You can press into those feet for stability. Give me 3. Maybe you're expanding the ball completely because you're coming all the way up. 2. 1 more. And then just hold right there. Take an inhale. Roll your head all the way back. Relax your face and jaw. Last thing we're gonna do. You're gonna find an ab curl with that hip fold and a twist. So as you ab curl, you're gonna reach your left hand to the outside of that lifted right knee. So we're getting into our obliques. Then everything's gonna come down, head is supported by that left hand again, and then next time we curl, we reach up and over to the left knee lifts. And I really want you to use your hand to reach, but also your ribs. It's easy to cheat here and just reach your hand, but when you lift up and over with your rib cage and your chest, that's when you're gonna really feel that waistline work. Inhale back. Exhale up and over. It's a little bit of coordination work as well, which is always good for mind to muscle connections because it forces us to stay present. Almost there. Good, can you try, we probably won't be able to, but it's a good visual, to reach for the outside of that ankle, all the way up and over. Last 2. And you're gonna finish on your left side again. And then the next time you're through center, you're just gonna pause. And then we're gonna bring the hands to the mat and prop ourselves all the way up to seated. Let's find our butterfly stretch again, but in seated. So bottoms of the feet are together, knees apart, forward fold. Now's a nice time to grab a sip of water if you want, or take whatever intuitive stretch the body is calling you to do. And then we'll come all the way up. Give yourself a big shoulder roll back, opening that heart center. And then we are gonna go ahead and find our left side body. So you're gonna be on your left shoulder, and your knees are gonna be bent to 90 in front of you. You guys know on YouTube that I love my sideline series. They're so good for the core, so good for the booty, and it's really important to work the body laterally because we don't do it very often. So make sure your thighs are parallel with the short side of your mat, ribs are back, shoulder in line with that top hip. You're gonna take your ball or your weight, or you could, again, use a resistance band around the top of the knees for this as well. But if you're using a ball, it's gonna go behind your knee. And we're gonna have a little bit of engagement through the calf, just so the ball doesn't roll away. And then from here, we're gonna lift the leg up and back, and then bring it to a hover. It goes up and back without pulling the knee towards the shoulder. So the knee stays stacked over that hip the whole time. Just up and back. And when that leg moves, we're not moving anything else in the body. So stability is always our priority. And then once we have that kind of locked in, we can focus on the moving part of the exercise. Just 5. So if you're rocking back, your bottom knee's lifting, think about pressing into your top hand to ground and stabilize you. Last 3. Have a little bit of engagement through that ball. You're gonna feel your hamstring when you do that. Good, 1 more. You're gonna bring your leg back just above hip height, so knee is just a little higher than the hip, but not too high. And we're gonna start to draw big circles about the size of the ball behind the leg, going back. Take it slow. You can bring your hand to your top hip bone for a moment, and you can actually feel that rotation happening. And we want to think about the root of the movement as well. So this is happening through our hip socket. As much as we're articulating with our knee, we want to think about the top of the leg and the glute here. And pausing wherever you are, squeeze the ball a little more, circles the size of the ball going forward. This is really, really great for our hip mobility as much as it is effective for strengthening our muscle, our glute. So it's a win-win, even though I know it's challenging. Just a couple more. Good, and then the next time you're through center, you're gonna bring the leg down just for a quick second. So it's back in line with the bottom. And we're gonna get into those lifts again. Last thing we're doing in the first part of this series, up and down, just like we began. And as we transition between progressions, just like we did with bridge or our ab series we just finished, I want you, through your presence and through your mind to muscle connections, to be able to feel the shift. We usually pick one kind of muscle group, but we work it in different ways. So the circles are gonna feel different than these lifts. Give me 3. Flex your abs as you lift up and back. And 2. 1 more, nice big lift, squeeze the ball, and bring it all the way down. Good, you're gonna take the ball out. Take a moment, you can do a little pedal of your feet or just rest. And then we're gonna move our bottom left leg back so it's in line with the hip. And then we're gonna rest our top right knee on the ball. So your top leg is still bent to 90 and it's just relaxing on the ball. You could use a yoga block or you could rest it on the mat. I personally find having it elevated is just a little more comfy. And then you can take a quick peek. We want bottom ankle in line with knee, in line with hip, in line with shoulder. So one long line. A little bit of weight in that top hand. Toes are pointed through that left leg. We're gonna lift and lower. Little lift through inner thigh and lower. You're gonna feel a bit of activation through your top glute, but that's just because it worked so hard in that previous series. And it's still gonna be supporting you a bit here, but try to rest it as much as you can. I want you to feel your core helping to lift that left inner thigh up and off the mat. And again, we're thinking about the root of this, so it's inner thigh, not just that foot lifting. Last 3, 2, 1 more lift. And then bring it down just a little bit more so it's hovering above the mat. Toes are pointed, little circles going back. These circles are a bit smaller, about the size of an apple or an orange. And I want you to think about lengthening through your leg, reaching toes away. Breathe. And then wherever you are, you can pause. And we reverse, circles going forward. So repeating the same series, but just to the inner thigh. And with that top leg, we're targeting more the outer thigh and that outer glute. But everything is always working together. Good, last 2. And 1. Come through center, set the leg down, quick breath in. Connect to your core, exhale. 1 more round of those lifts, up and down. Up and down. If you want more support, think about pressing your hand down into the mat as that leg goes up. And again, when we anchor ourselves or ground ourselves, we will feel a little more supported in those challenging movements. Same with that core connection, you got it. Last 4. and 3. Last one, nice big lift. And all the way down. Awesome work. Take your ball out. You're gonna bring both your knees in front of you to 90, and you're gonna lower onto your left ear with your bottom and your top hand in front of you. So it's kind of awkward at first, but it's gonna feel really good. And then we're gonna take a nice big inhale. On the exhale, you're gonna take that top right hand, and you're gonna reach up and back, letting your gaze follow, but keeping your legs forward. And then just feel that chest or those shoulders relax. Good, let's inhale, bring it forward. Keep your legs stacked and still. Exhale, open up into that twist. And one more round like that. And then coming forward, we'll prop ourselves up, find the glutes, and grab on to that ball again. From here, feet are planted in front of you, knees are bent, hands are on either side of the ball, shoulders back. Let's take an inhale, we round through the spine, roll back about halfway. We're still looking at belly button here. And then as we come up, I want you to press your hands in on the ball and then reach your arms overhead. Don't worry about getting the arms parallel with the ears or the ball behind the head. Just gonna be slightly in front of the forehead or over the head. We inhale, we roll back and round. Exhale, press palms together, activating shoulders, roll up on the exhale. Inhale, we round. Exhale, we lift up. Good, the shoulders stay down the whole time, so try not to shrug them. Knitting your ribs, take a peek at your belly next time you're back. Can you engage it a little more? Thinking about the feet or the heels being anchored to the mat to support you. Your breath is helping to lift you up and activate through the arms. Last 4. We have 3. So we're working the front of the core here, lower abs and upper abs. Last 2, squeeze the ball. And last one. Good, next time you're up, you're gonna pause for a moment. Then we're gonna roll back halfway, maybe a little bit higher than last time. You kind of find that sweet spot. We're gonna tap the ball to the right, draw a nice big rainbow through center, tap the ball to the left. We twist and twist, but we're staying in that same rollback the whole time. If this is too much on your back or your hips, you could put the ball behind you for support and just do this with your imaginary ball or a different prop instead. You got it. Think about obliques pulling you through center. Drop your shoulders. 3, 2, and 1. Come through center, come all the way up. Take a moment. From here, we're rolling back, finding that same sweet spot. Bring the ball to the right side of your body. You can have your left hand in front of you or behind that thigh for extra support. Palm is down on the right side, pressing into the ball. We're pulsing and releasing. Pulse, release. So we press hand, release. But I want you to hold it for a moment. That's where you're gonna really feel the core. Give me 4, 3, flex abs as you pulse, 2, and press, last 1. Pull through center, come up for a second, and we roll it back. Ball's on the left side of you. You choose what you want to do with that right hand. We press, release. We press, Release, knit your ribs, drop your shoulders. You got it, we're almost there. Feel everything activate. You should feel legs here as well. 4 and 3. Press a little harder and hold for 2 and 1. Come through center all the way up. Last thing we are doing, make sure you have some space on either side of you. We're gonna take the ball in the right hand, we're gonna roll back, let the gaze follow, and then we're gonna sit up through center, and then we're gonna switch sides. Left arm opens into the twist, gaze follows, option to have that opposite hand behind the thigh. Sit up nice and tall through center, and switching sides. This is a challenging series. We're moving a little bit faster compared to the first part of our practice, but we're getting that heart rate up. Still moving with control, but we're gonna finish really strong. Inhale, open. Exhale, opposite waist pulls you up, drop the shoulders. You're gonna finish your last one on your left side. You're gonna come all the way through center, sit up nice and tall, and then we'll drop the knees, bring the bottoms of the feet together. I like to bring the ball in front of the toes and use it to help roll myself out to that deeper seated butterfly. Let the chest relax. You could also just hold on to the feet or wherever you can that's in your range. One more big breath. Exhale, let it go. Then roll yourself up to seated. Set the ball to the side, step your feet to the width of the mat. Let's do a couple knee knocks just to move that energy in the hips around, letting go of any tightness or tension. Roll back as a position can be challenging because it definitely calls on your hip flexors for support and your quads, obviously your core as well, but it definitely becomes easier the more we practice. And it's important to strengthen the core and your whole body in different ways because we can be really strong in one position, but when we're challenged in a different way, those muscles don't necessarily show up in the same way for us. We are gonna finish really strong on our right side body. So take your time finding your right shoulder. Knees are bent to 90 in front of you. Thighs parallel with the short side of the mat. This setup really helps us feel the most supported and successful in this series. From here, top hand forward, ribs back, ball behind that top leg. Let's begin. Exhale, top leg up and back. Inhale, bring it to a hover. Connecting to your core as that ball lifts. And having some engagement through the back of your legs. So your hip bones, your top and your bottom, are stacked the whole time. So if you notice that that top left hip is reaching behind you or your bottom knee is lifting, you might need to slow things down and focus on that stability a little more. And again, we don't want that knee pulling in towards the shoulder. It stays stacked. Almost there. Last one. You're gonna bring that leg just above hip height. Little squeeze in the ball, belly to spine. Circles the size of the ball going back. So notice the difference now that we've started to rotate through the hip and the leg. Where do you feel the work happening now? What has shifted? What's being activated that wasn't necessarily activated before? Try to feel it in the body, even if you need to close your eyes to connect to it. Good. And then the next time your leg is through center, or honestly wherever you are, pause and then we'll draw those circles going forward. This might feel different than that previous direction. Get present, get curious. Are your ribs spilling forward? Have you forgotten about your core? Can you make the circle a little bigger while maintaining stability? Last 3, 2, 1 more. And then once you're finished that last circle, you're gonna set your leg down just for a quick second. If you need to readjust your ball or anything, now's the time to do it. And we're gonna finish with our lifts again. Up and back, down and pause. Exhale up, inhale down. Leg is gonna feel heavier and heavier with every rep, with every progression, but that's what we want. That is our sign that it's working, that we're fatiguing the muscles, and that's how we level up. That's how we see changes. Good, relaxing everything else. Like face and neck, we still want to engage the core. Good, 2 and 1. Good, go ahead and rest that leg down and just take the ball out. Pause for a moment. Good, pedal the feet, whatever feels good. Awesome, and then you're gonna take your top leg and just rest it, still at 90 in front of you on the ball. And that bottom leg is gonna scooch back so it's in line with the torso and that top hip. So just take a moment to find this position. Pull your belly back, little pressure in that top hand, rest your leg, and we're gonna point our toes and lift and lower. 1 rep at a time. This is one space and one time in your day. Hopefully you have more opportunity, but it's a place where you're gonna be explicitly encouraged to slow things down, be mindful, be present, and be really intentional. We move through autopilot for most of our day, especially the mundane, tasks or at work, but we wanna slow things down and get the most out of everything we do. 2, last one. You're gonna bring that leg just above the mat, little circles going back with those pointed toes reaching away from the hip. This is where I usually start to really feel the obliques. Your core is always working to stabilize you. So when the leg moves, naturally, if we're not engaging the core, the body wants to move as well, but the core is gonna keep everything engaged. And stable, here we go for 2 and 1, pause right there. Little circle is going forward, we're almost there. Can you relax that top leg a little more? Can you find your breath? Good. 2 and 1, set the leg down, take a quick inhale. Exhale, let's finish with those lifts. Round 2, up and down. Up, flex the abs and down. Is your bottom foot coming forward, or can you still keep it in one long line with the rest of the body? Press into the mat if you need support. Give me 3, 2, one more big lift. All the way down. Awesome work. Take your ball out, and then we're gonna come to our right ear. Arms are in front of us, knees are bent to 90 in front of us. Big breath in through the nose. Big exhale, top left arm reaches up and back, shoulder relaxes, heart center opens. And then we inhale, bring it forward again. Use the breath as much as you can here. Exhale, reach it back. One more round. Feeling that left shoulder relax a little closer to the mat each time. Feel that nice release in your back. And then you're gonna come forward. And then we're gonna prop ourselves up to a seated position. Whatever seated position feels best for you, and your hips, cross-legged, sitting on your heels, legs in front of you, whatever's good. Roll your shoulders back. Let's take a moment to close the eyes. We're gonna take a nice slow as possible inhale through the nose. Let's begin to reach our arms up overhead. Slow it down even more, inviting all that restorative but energizing air into the body, breathing in all the work you did, all of that activation, that energy, that accomplishment. Hold it at the top, finding prayer. Take one more sip of air, locking it all into place. And then exhale out the mouth as you bring that prayer through your heart center. Keeping your eyes closed. And just holding here for a moment to sit with all of that magic you created. All of this collective virtual energy we are sharing together. Thanking your body for showing up for you, for always being stronger, more supportive and resilient than we sometimes believe. And breathing in gratitude to yourself for showing up. I know it can be challenging, especially in a virtual platform, to hold yourself accountable and especially to stay to the end of these workouts. But if you are hearing this, you did it. And that is something you should be really proud of and something you should hold with you as you move through the rest of your day. And when you are ready, you can start to open your eyes. Thank you guys so much for being here with me. I really hope you feel amazing and grounded and enjoyed our practice. Like I said, if you're not already subscribed, please hit that button, give me a thumbs up. And if you ever want to ask me any questions or request a class, please don't hesitate to message me on Instagram. It's just my first name, last name _, which is also linked below. So Faith Shannon _. And you can also check out my on-demand website, which has a huge library of these classes, as well as some guided meditations too.